We just need to know your name.
Why?
Because this video is kind of about you.
Well, I understand that, but okay.
What got you into brewing?
Whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, really. And that's the answer to the question that most I get. You know, what I get that a lot here. You know, what made you start brewing, or how long ago did you start brewing, and all that stuff. I'd go over to guys' house that had beer. Here, try my beer. You know, and I'd choke it down. I go, man, you got Bud Light? And I just didn't think I could make beer. Then a buddy of mine got a beer kit for Christmas, and so we made a wheat beer, and it's like, whoa, that was pretty good. So I started that way, and then I started adding equipment at home, and then started making some pretty good beers. And then I joined Missouri Mashers, which is a Northland group of home brewers, and that's what really accelerated my brew making. We met once a month. There was always an educational thing about how to use hops, how to use barley, what to do with your water, what yeast does this, and all that stuff. And then we all brought our beers in and tried them and stuff. And then Jimmy and I go way back. McCullough owns Atlas. I came to him at 17 and said, hey, dude, let's put a brew house back in the kitchen. That was a kitchen. You know, he said, hell yeah, that's a great idea. So we gutted that kitchen, cut a hole in the wall, put that glass, put the window here, and started the process, and got our license in June of 18 and started going down the road from that. I've had 3 Chiefs brews. My first one was when Buffalo got beat in 13 seconds, and we came back and beat them and went on to the Super Bowl. And so I was sitting around going, man, we got to do something special for that. Me and Al Amos, and Rocky was kind of involved, but it's mostly me and Al. Al's a real good brewer too. Working on a recipe. I said, it's got to have 13 grains. We came back in 13 seconds. It's got to be 13 grains that are going to all fit together. And then I said, well, it's got to be 13%. So then we had to adjust the grain bill and make sure that it was going to come out 13%. One of the ingredients for that beer, which was kind of a last second thing, because I was getting ready to brew the next day and stuff, and I'm planning it out. Never made a beer like that before. And I go, man, my home's like Hunt's on everything. So I went to the store, got some Hunt's ketchup. I put some Hunt's ketchup in it. We ended up brewing it on March the 13th. And then it's barrel aged. I released it on December the 13th. And we had Steven St. John came up from Sports Talk. We did a drive time that's on a Tuesday or whatever. And we drank 89 of those beers that night. Yeah, it was quite the party versus, Pat Mahomes never walked in here before. I keep trying to get him in here. Yeah, there's a goal, Hannah. Yeah, there's a goal for sure, man. If Pat and Kelsey walk through the door.
Can you describe the feeling of watching somebody go from scared to performing alongside with you in front of people?
Well, Cricket would be the prime example for that. When she first stepped up here and played, she was so scared, like me. Sweat was pouring out her and stuff. Voice is cracking, and she's just barely singing. She did Jolene a couple months ago. By far her best performance of her life. Her eyes were closed, and she was singing, and she got done. Man, I ran up there and high-fived her. I said, man, that was just awesome. And so I get to feel that awesomeness. The nuances of the music is feeling. And so when I was first playing, Kevin kept telling me that, dude, you gotta feel this song. You gotta feel this song. And I kept going, dude, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I understand it now, but then it was just like, dude, I'm just trying to put my fingers in the right spot. Simple Man's our second song. And for Kevin and I, it's special. It's like real special. And so the feeling on that song is huge. We both almost cry in that song every time we do it. And we grew up with that song. And when that song came out, all of us guys, when we were 15, 16 years old or whatever we were, and we listened to that thing 100 million times, we as guys, we all felt that. Atlas Saloon Brewery, corner of Main Street and Broadway, open mic Wednesday nights. Soundcheck starts at 7. We usually have between 12 and 15 performers. If you don't have a guitar, we've got one you can play. We all have a piano you can play. And it's always a fun night playing music at the Atlas in the back room here.
'Cause I'm love-struck, baby, love-struck over you. Before I don't get in my mind, and I go and I do something wrong. Well, the settlement came and we moved out of town. The skies weren't filled with refining clouds.
Dance with my paw. One day I'll die in the tears of your love.
Well, there's a rose in the fisted love, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Mary's the men with no country, just men in circles.
Look what they've done to my brain, yeah. Well, they picked it like a chicken bone, and I think I'm half insane.
Your heart knows that moon, standing in the shadows. I see jet black, I see white lights, chasing you like a West Coast skyline. The dark wants it dark, your Rex wants me dead. I see all the red lights, but I ain't stopping yet. No, I ain't stopping yet. No, I ain't stopping yet. No, I ain't stopping yet.
Have you said my name's Keith Hudson at least?
But now they know.